just you do it from Facebook, and it just says go. It has when you post a status, it says go live. So, and I just go live. I'm starting to do this for years, and
so I'm on here, right? It says Eugene Miller, what's on your mind? I only did this Facebook today because it's you. Like I'm on here.
All right, we're back. This is Larry H. Gardner with
Eugene Miller.
Eugene Miller and Dolores Gray. So, Eugene, I said I was going to ask you the headache question, so I'm going to ask you it now. How did you lose your seat?
That's not a headache question. That's an easy answer for me. I would believe I was politically immature. Not by age, but just by understanding and interacting with people. Politics is a people business. Mm-hmm. And that's why I believe I lost. We're not losing because of hard work. You're not losing because you didn't show up. I feel that I lost because of just politically immature. And that's one of the things my campaign theme has been about: learn, listen, lead, and understanding, looking in the mirror and facing the realities. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years.
Okay, so
that was an easy one.
Okay, so so besides that, doing the last 4 years, what else have you been doing the last 4 years?
Well, up until June 30th, I was working for the city of Cleveland for the last 2 years. My job was I worked in public utility and public works, which is the second largest division in the city of Cleveland outside of public safety. My job was to be an inspector for the department, to be a quality control inspector. If a residence, like right now, it's leaf pickup. My job will, after they pick up the leaves, to see that the city workers do a good job in doing it. Okay. That was my job with each season that we go through. So I was in every part of this city for the last 2 years. In my opinion, my favorite division. I was the chairman of public service, so I understand how things work. Okay. So when I'm elected, I understand clearly how that division works.
So you pretty much understand since you've been councilman before. Yeah. How long was you councilman before?
I was a councilman for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you pretty much know everything that's going on.
Well, not everything, but I understand public service. I mean, public works. I was the chairperson. I worked in the department under the leadership of Director Cox, and I understand how that works on both sides of the aisle.
Okay. Shout out to Donna Lynn Chica for Chicota. She's coming in from Toronto, Canada on my Facebook Live. So hello. She's from, I think hopefully, I don't know which one she's going to vote for in Toronto. She's in Toronto. She's in Toronto. So like,
she could be voting earlier.
Hello, sir. She said hello. She was just like, said hello to everybody. So now, you said the one thing that we talked about doing this election, I think it's every single election that we have this problem, is poor voter turnout.
Correct.
What are the ways to combat, your solution to combat poor voter turnout?
That's a great question. It's 3 ways to change the government. You can do what Patrick Henry did, is use a gun, took over the government of Britain when he said no taxation, no representation. So he took to the war. You can vote, or you can find millions of dollars to pay off a politician. So that's my opinion on how you change the government. As a poor person, our best way to change the government is by voting. How do you empower somebody, let them know to go vote? People tell me they got to feel motivated to vote. I think that's just crazy.
Right.
How do you got to feel motivated to vote? So how do you convince somebody to go vote? People talking about how the current president is. Voting is a habit. You brush your teeth as a habit. Voting is a habit.
Okay.
All around the country in big major cities, they're going to have an election in Atlanta. They're about to elect the new mayor in Atlanta, Detroit. Now, I understand I'm a political junkie, but you don't have to be a political junkie if you live anywhere in this county. There's an election somewhere in this state that you got to go vote for.
Okay. I understand. Chandria Clark is watching. Melvin Hutcherson is watching on Facebook Live. Dolores, you have any questions for Eugene Miller?
Mr. Miller? Not really. I mean, not at this time, but just a comment. It shows that you have the passion. You have a lot of passion for, the political arena. So how, with you saying that I do have a question. Mm-hmm. So with you saying that it was a maturity situation, how are you going, say for instance you win, how are you going to set that up so that won't happen again with the maturity level? Because, sometimes people go back into their old habits or old ways when they get back into a certain situation.
It already started.
Okay.
It started by admitting it. Number two, I worked for the city for 2 years. Director Cox, when I was a councilman, I stood up on the floor and said he should get fired. Guess who my boss was? Director Cox. Mm-hmm. So I had to go back to the person who I wanted to get fired. He's my immediate supervisor. Then, as I run for office, I went down, I called the county councilman, Mr. Harrison, sat down and talked to him. This is what I was planning on doing when I win. So the maturity started with that conversation, because it's not just about politics, it's everywhere I go. Mm-hmm. See, whatever I'm maturing as a father, now grandfather. Try to mature as a son, now older son, my friends. Because there's some people who don't like me, and I still have to represent them. So I have to buy into this, and if I don't buy into it, then it won't work. I say I don't bought into it. Okay. So I'm a believer in it. Okay. And that's how it has to work, because the politics is an interesting business. You know, it's like church's politics. You know, I have to go to church, and, you know, I've been going back to church. I've been there 7 Sundays in a row. People were looking at me, you only come here because of the election. And I said, okay, that's what you think. So now, people, you know, people talk, and you got to be able to do it.
Well, this is the thing about churches and elections. Now, we've seen judges, we've seen politicians, people who want to be politicians go to the churches, and some of the Cleveland clergy has backed these particular politicians and judges. Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing that the church is stepping involved in the community, as far as who are they concerned about their, you know, parishioners or, you know, their members voting for? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that they're involved?
Well, it's, you know, churches, unions, they have memberships, they have people that can endorse someone. My pastor, Leslie Reed at Lee Memorial, can stand up Sunday morning and tell everybody to vote for such and such. I'm going to vote for Frank Jackson. My pastor can change my mind. So if you have a pastor that can change your mind, that's good for you. So we all should have some kind of leadership in what we're doing, because there are unions who not support me. They stand up asking their membership. We should follow the money sometime. Some churches get a lot of money from different places. Some businesses, you have to follow this money. You know, that's how this all goes. So I'm not saying that this church gets money and then they vote this way, but for me, I have to stand up for what I believe in. That's part of the maturity. When I was in council, you asked that question, why you lost. My immaturity had me be with the majority, because I'm with the majority. So if they want to do certain things, I'm going to do it politically. Okay. Politically. This time around, I can't do that, because losing taught me that lesson. See, now, if I'm going to do anything, it's about Ward 10 residents first. Ward 10 residents, even if it's politics. Ward 10 residents, because politics, people try to say, when they're running for office, I'm not a politician. If you run for office, you're a politician. Exactly. You can say, well, you're a politician. That's why today, even if I'm not elected, I'm still a politician, because my mind is being a politician. I think about politics all day long.
Okay. So pretty much, if you Ward 10 area, and I think I didn't discuss this, and I had so many people on this show running for Ward 10. Could you tell them what Ward 10 covers in the city of Cleveland? What areas?
Right now, we're in the Euclid Park area. It covers all of Euclid Park, the gym. It covers Collinwood, a majority of South Collinwood. It covers a portion of Glenville on the north side of the highway from, say, 117th and St. Clair. Then it stops at 105 at the East Side Market. Then it continues on after that all the way down to 55th, cuts over to 40th in that area. So it's been split up, and that's where it's at. It's a large ward, but and I know I was part of the design of that, but regardless, all our wards are large. Yes. And because the population drops, and what's going to happen in 4 years if our population does not increase, you're going to lose 2 councilmen. Our ward's going to be larger anyway. Right. So it's going to continue to grow. Okay. Our house districts are different, but people don't pay attention to the state house. They are. I'm in the 8th house district, but majority of Ward 10 in the 8th and the 10th. But I'm in the 8th.
Okay. So we have Alicia Morton watching, and John Lamb watching.
Do you have any questions on Facebook?
No, there's a couple of comments about churches and pastors, but pretty much, there's no questions. Now, all right, two things that stress on. And I'm going to ask you this again, and this might be the headache question. All right. First month of, if you are elected, councilman of Ward 10. What is the first month and 90 days of Eugene Miller's leadership?
First thing I'm going to do, the first call I'm going to make election day night is to whoever the new mayor in the city of Cleveland is, to sit down and have breakfast with him. Number two, when I get elected in January, I'm going to work on introducing legislation to figure out a way to reform our police departments. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, what I'm going to work on is doing a survey of this entire ward and find out where our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are at. That's going to be the first two things I do. Mm-hmm.
Now, what about economic opportunities, jobs, and stuff?
That's part of that SWOT analysis what I'm going to have to perform to find out what our strengths are at. People say, well, let's bring this, let's bring that. We need to find out what all our strengths and weaknesses and threats are in this community, because you have to know where we're at. So that's the first thing I have to do. And also having that team set up so they can take care of the most complaints residents call about are quality of life issues. So it's not that it's not important to me. I have to figure out a way to divide my time up so I can do exactly what you asked for, economic development and jobs. But if I spend 90% of my time chasing boarded up houses and the things that the mayor's department should really be doing. Right. Mm-hmm. But if I can educate the community, because this is another thing that goes on. When you meet a resident, a lot of this is online. And I understand a lot of residents don't know how to use the internet. I had one resident, she was complaining about a building that had rats running out of it. She said she couldn't get in touch with anyone. I said, ma'am, you can do it all on your phone. And when I showed her how to do it, she was amazed that she can cut through the councilman and go right to the Department of Health on her phone and then get a reference number.
So what about, especially since this technology, you're on Twitter a lot, social media. What about free Wi-Fi for everybody in the ward, or less expensive?
One of the things that my counterpart Kevin Kelly has in this ward, the entire ward has Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. Those are projects that we have to leverage your funding to do. That's not a bad idea, to leverage funding for everyone to have at least a basic. Mm-hmm. I think all of Americans, we should have, just like we have basic TV. Right. I think all Americans should have basic Wi-Fi. And if you want to upgrade like premium channels, then you can pay for it. So if you're listening, future senators or governors or presidents, everyone should have free Wi-Fi.
Amen to that. All right. The thing about it is that shout out to Donna Roker and Jermaine Gresham watching on Facebook Live. But the thing about it is that we need, since we're in a technology age, we need free Wi-Fi because everything's pretty much done online, But we got it at the libraries and everything. Now, as far as yourself, and congratulations on being a grandfather. Congratulations on that. And I do apologize if I didn't get a chance to say that.
Oh, that's no problem.
What do you see? What do you see the future for this city, the city of Cleveland? What do you see in the future for the city of Cleveland?
A great future. The foundation's been laid, and we have to do a better job in our neighborhoods. But we got to do a better job in our neighborhoods. One of the things when I lost, I bought my house on Green Road. Mm-hmm. I took an investment in the community. I could have bought a house in a suburb, but I chose to buy a house in the city of Cleveland. We got to be the ambassadors in our community. You can't just say it's going to be 17 elected officials be the ambassadors of our city. It's over 350,000 residents in our community. And we always hear about Ohio City and Tremont, but I feel proud to live in Euclid Park. I feel proud to live where I live at on Green Road. Mm-hmm. That's the community I live in. And I plan on staying there. I got, unfortunately, a 30-year mortgage. I'm going to chop it down, maybe 10.
Okay.
But I think we all have to be ambassadors. We can't just wait on a politician.
Exactly.
You can't just say, this politician is going to be the one going to change the future. When people talk about businesses, there's a lot of business on Euclid Avenue that don't live in the community. What stopped us from having our investment there? Exactly. There's small business loans. I know there are hurdles and obstacles and discrimination, but we have to be part of the future in our neighborhoods also. Can't just be elected official.
Right, exactly. We taking a break or no? Just checking my engine candles because I like to run off at the mouth. Huh? 5 minutes?
All right.
5 minutes.
All right.
Okay. In the 5 minutes, tell us, where can people go? I know that this is late in the day. We in the last. I'm talking
early today.
All right. I'm still elections. So last minute. How can people help Eugene Miller? Volunteer. What are the sites they can go to? website, social media sites, if they want to help, I believe in Eugene Miller, I want to help him get elected to Ward 10, how can they help you or volunteer?
That's what you can do. You can call me on my cell phone. One of the things about being consistent, my cell phone number has not changed in 4 years. 216-849-0816. 216-849-0816. That's the best way to contact me. When I get elected, my number will stay the same because I don't want people to say you couldn't contact them. I'm on Facebook, Eugene Miller, Eugene R. Miller. I'm on Twitter, which is my favorite social media, and that's Eugene R. Miller. That's my Twitter handler. I need your help, but the best thing you can do for me if you live in Ward 10 is get out and go vote. That's the best thing for me. With 8 days to go, if you believe I'm the candidate for you, you get out there and go vote. Because right now, it's in our primary, September 12th, it's 8%. I have a polling company. I'm projecting maybe a 12% bump. So that's 20%. That means that 80% of people might stay home based on me. Based on my philosophy, because voting is a habit.
Right.
What makes someone right now wants to get out and go run and go vote? Wow, I'm excited about hearing Eugene Miller on the radio, so I'm gonna go vote. I'm excited about the mayor's election, I'm gonna go vote. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
Voting is a habit, and let's start that habit today. Because people talking about I can't wait to 2020. It's an important election before 2020.
Let's see, state representatives next year, seats are up next year,
Right.
Your local elections and everything. I understand the federal may let you down, but in order to, but you probably not going to see President 405 in your city unless he's running for re-election. Hopefully he's impeached before then, but I'm not saying anything else. But, the thing is that there's your state representatives.
Yes.
They're your local representatives, city council, mayor's races, and everything, and not just in the city of Cleveland. If you're listening in other states, including or other states or other cities, right, in other countries,
I don't know about that.
Canada. Hopefully, if you're listening in other countries, if you don't have a ruthless dictator running you, Castro, then you can vote them in, or you can vote them out, or do a coup. It depends, but. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. Dolores is going to read who we got on the Lions list, and he's already been caught and stuff. So this is Larry H. Gardner with Dolores Gray and Eugene R. Miller running for Ward 10. And we'll be right back for this last portion of Headlines and Headaches on this Halloween Eve, October 30th, 2017. And watch out for the candy. If they give you Cleveland Browns tickets, it's a trick. If they give it to you on Halloween door, it's a trick. Trust me, don't take them. Then they win a game. Bye. Peace.